Hello students, I am Gurleen Kaur, I'm assistant professor in Tirthankar Mahavid University, and I'm gonna teach you the subject environmental studies. In previous classes also we have covered various topics related to environmental studies, and in today's class we will start our new topic, that is solid waste management. This is the introduction slide which is related to solid waste management. Now, before starting, let us first clear our concepts related to solid waste management. Now, what is waste? Anything which is of no use, to human being will be considered as a waste. Now, what is solid? Solid means which is in non-liquid form, which is non-soluble, is referred to as solid. So all those waste materials, who are in solid nature, who takes lots of years, lots of time to get themselves decomposed, is solid waste. Now, what is management? When we treat that waste in a proper manner and we try to decompose it, we try to dispose it off, that is management. So we can say that solid waste management comprises of three words: solid plus waste plus management. Now, what is solid? Solid, anything which is in a solid state. It's neither in liquid state nor in gaseous state, which we can see, which we can touch, which we can feel, is referred to as solid. What is waste? Any material which is of no use is termed as waste. And management, by treating that waste material in a proper manner, we can manage, we can dispose it of that waste, is known as management. I hope these three words are clear. Now we come to solid waste management concept. What does this concept related to? So first, let's go through what is solid waste. Solid waste is basically a non-liquid, non-soluble material ranging from municipal garbage to industrial waste, which means any waste which is related to municipal garbage and which goes on to the industrial waste and which is in solid form, which is non-liquid or non-soluble, is solid waste. And how this solid waste can be manageable? When there is a systematic process of collecting, transporting, processing and disposing of or recycling of solid waste generated by a community. So solid waste management means when that solid waste which we have collected, and we just collected from the households, from the general public, from the industries, and then with the help of some transport, we forwarded that solid waste to some other place, and then through the processing we just recycle it. So that is the management, that is the proper management of solid waste management. So solid waste comprises of some process, some procedure. So that procedure consists of collecting, transporting, processing and disposing or recycling of the solid waste generated by a community. Further, it is a critical aspect of maintaining a clean and healthy environment. So it's a responsibility of each and every individual to create a clean and healthy environment. And for that sake, one should always do management to the waste which we are creating in the society, which we are creating in the environment. It's the whole responsibility of the individual for the society to dispose it of or recycle it. So for that purpose, there is a concept known as solid waste management. As improper waste management can lead to significant environmental and public health issues. If that waste is not being treated properly, then it may lead to environmental and public health issues, as these waste will further leads to pollution. If this waste is not being treated properly, if there is not a proper place for recycling it, it will be thrown everybody on the earth, on the land, then further it may lead to some harmful pollution. So it's a responsibility. So we should treat that waste properly and we should manage the solid waste. This presentation will provide you a comprehensive overview of the key components and challenges involved in effective solid waste management. So, on coming up slides, we will study about the overview, the basic key components, and the challenges involved in effective solid waste management. So, we can say that solid waste is a non-liquid, non-soluble material ranging from municipal garbage to, we can say, like industrial waste that sometimes contains complex and hazardous substances. It some of the examples of solid waste management can be domestic waste, sanitary waste, commercial waste, institutional waste, catering, etc. Talking about the waste which our nation is creating a year is very large in number. Uh, India produces almost 277.1 million tons of solid waste every year, which is likely to touch 387.8 million tons in 2030 and 543.3 million tons by 2050. This is a huge, great number which needs to be controlled if we want to save the environment. Last year, we have created 277.1 million just of waste material. That waste material which comprises the property of chemicals which leads to the various type of severe pollution. So we need to treat that waste, we need to recycle it, there should be a proper management of this solid waste. Otherwise, it's a guessing figure which for the future that until 2030 this figure may increase to 387.8 million tons, and by 2050 543.3 million tons. So this is a rapid huge figure, and this happens this gassing figure is increasing day by day because of rapid urbanization, we can say. Population is also the main reason, and also the economic development, as we are relying more and more in the technology advancement is going on, and for our convenience we are using more of unhealthy products, plastic products, non-biodegradable products, which may leads to solid waste. And for that sake, there should be a solid waste management so that the harmful chemicals released from that waste should be treated properly in a correct direction. I hope the introduction to solid waste management is clear. Now moving forward to the next slide. Now this slide will help you to understand what is waste. Now, what is waste? Waste is any substance or object which the holder discards or intends or is required to discard, which means when we are not willing to use the substance or object for our future, which is of our no use, that object or that substance will come under waste. States the directives of the European Council. So this meaning is given by directives of the European Council. If waste is dangerous or poisonous, it is a sign of illness and demise of everything that supports life, including food, water, air, soil, in addition to living things. So the waste material which we are creating, when it's not treated in a fair way, in a correct way, then it may lead to the illness and demise of everything. Everything will be destroyed, which is supporting our life. Like for example, we require food, water, air, and soil. So all these things will be compromised if our solid waste will not be treated in a proper way. So for that sake, we have to there is a management which everyone should follow, and that management consists of treating our waste material in a proper way through the procedure of collecting, transporting, and recycling it. So waste, what is waste? According to European Council, waste is any substance or object which the holder discard, which means when the holder do not found it of any use, when the holder is not ready to accept, and now it's in the state of throwing it, so that will be considered as a waste. Now, as the figure on this slide shows us that there are four bins: the yellow bin, purple bin, organic bin, and red bin. So this work is done by the government, that it provide us the segregations of the waste material. If you want to put the paper waste material, then it should be put in a yellow dustbin. If you want to use any glass material and throw it out, then the dustbin for that is purple dustbin. And for organic waste, because organic waste can be a degradable waste, for that purpose there should be a green dustbin which represents the organic waste. Red material represents the, sorry, red dustbin represents the plastic material. So these four dustbins will help us to segregate our waste in a proper way, so that the waste can be treated in a correct way. It can be recycled, it can be reused. So all the papers which we are using in our daily life and which is waste for us should be thrown in the yellow dustbin. All the glasses, all the glass materials which we are using and now it is a waste for us, that should be put into the purple dustbin. And all those organic material which is degradable in nature, like for example the kitchen households, the, sorry, not kitchen household, like for example if we are using vegetables, potato, fruits, leaves, anything which is degradable in nature, that should be put into the green dustbin. And uh, red dustbin shows us that it consists of all the plastic waste material. So this is the management, that how we are treating the solid waste. So management gives us these four dustbin. Types of solid waste. Now solid waste is being classified into three types: residential waste, commercial waste, and industrial waste. Now, what is residential waste? Waste generated by households, including food scraps, yard waste, paper, plastic, glass, and electronic items. So, residential waste is that kind of waste which is related to our home, which is related to our house, which the waste which is creating on a daily basis, like food scraps, the vegetables we are cooking, their food scraps, yard waste, papers, plastic, glass, and also electronic items. The waste material which is related to our residence or are the categories found under residential waste. Second is commercial waste. Waste, as the name suggests, commercial, which means business. So the waste produced by businesses such as office, restaurants, and retail stores, including packaging material, food items, and office supplies. So commercial waste which is related to businesses, we can say, like for example office, restaurants, and retail stores. It includes, what does it includes, like packaging of materials, food waste, and office supplies. Industrial waste, as the name suggests, which is related to industry, which is the waste generated by manufacturing and industrial process, which can include hazardous material, chemical byproducts, and specialized waste streams. So this will come under industrial waste. So types of solid waste is categorized into uh, three categories. First one is residential waste, second is commercial waste, and third is industrial waste. Residential waste, which is related to our household activities, such as, for example, food scraps, paper, plastic, glass, etc. While commercial waste, which is related to our businesses, such as restaurants, offices, retail store, which includes packaging of material, food waste, and office supplies like stationery, etc. Industrial waste, waste generated by manufacturing and industrial processes, which can include hazardous materials, chemical byproducts, and specialized waste streams. So, which is related to the process of industries. So, these are the types of solid waste which are present in the environment in the form of solid, which are non-soluble, which are non-liquid. Now, there are various methods present for managing the solid waste. So methods of solid waste management is divided into some of these stages. Then there is a disposal method, and then for small scale disposal there is some another method. So first one is stage one. Stage one comprises of collection from non-point source. So what does it mean, collection from non-point source? When the waste collection from door to door is a part of this phase, garbage collectors that work for the government or are employed by them handle the majority of the collection. The waste produced at the residential level is physically collected by garbage collectors employed such as, for example, like local government agencies. Residential level is physically collected by government collectors employed by local government agencies, who then dispose it on communal bins located at some street corners. So the municipality is not in charge of collecting rubbish from homes, workplaces, small businesses, or marketplace door to door. Here, waste must be deposited in common bins or containers from which it is picked up by municipal workers. So collection from non-point source, basically this refers to as when there is some dustbins or containers which has been put it into where in some area, in particular common area, where people just come up and they threw their waste material in those container, and the municipalities come and just collect the waste from that source point. Is the collection from non-point source, which when the waste produced at the government or employed by them handle at majority of the collection, and when the waste produced at the residential level is physically collected by garbage collectors employed by government agencies. So there various government agencies are being working for this, and government agencies, they have the employees working in that, the workers who are working there, they just come up and collect those waste material from those common containers which have been put it in at some place, and all the residents, people of residential just go there and throw their waste materials into that container or dustbin. Now, stage two. Stage one is just collecting the waste material from a point. Now, stage two is collection from point source. So, garbage gathered from non-point source is placed in designated point source, such as public trash cans in residential buildings, next to marketplaces, and in other suitable places. Communal trash cans are positioned. Other distinct point source should shopping centers, lodging facilities, open space like gardens, and places of worship. Large volumes of rubbish are collected by vehicles from these point sources and then transported to disposal and transfer locations. In this phase, manually or mechanically loaded compactors are frequently employed. To adequately manage waste, communal bins of waste disposed and storage must be placed in strategic areas. So, the common point from there, municipalities, the workers of municipalities just come across there and collect those waste material with them. Third stage is transportation to disposal sites. The moving of products or waste from collection location to disposable site is referred to as transfer. Depending on a distance that need to be covered, different types of trucks are used to transport waste from collection points to disposal facilities. The garbage is transported by larger vehicles from the collection location to the disposal facilities. So the waste material which we have gathered from some point, that waste material is being transported to the disposal site where that material is disposed of, or where there should be recycling, process of recycling will be done. So there are three stages: collection from known point source, collection from point source, and transportation to disposal sites. So collection from non-point source, when the workers of municipalities or government agencies come across the houses and just collect the waste material from the common bins, that is collection from non-point source. After that, later on, collection from point source, when there is a strategically pointed area where the containers or bins has been placed, and all the people living nearby, they just put their waste material into those bins, and those waste material will be collected by the workers or employees of the municipalities or any other government agencies. Later on, at stage 3, those waste material will be transported to another site, that is known as disposal sites, where they make a proper system, the drainage system, disposable system, so that there is that proper treating of waste material should be done, and the chemicals releasing from those materials should be demolished. So these three stages will help us for managing the solid waste. Now this is the next method, is disposal method. For large scale disposal, there are 5 stages: open dumps, landfill, sanitary landfill, recycling, and incinerations. So open dump, what does open dump means? Open dump is the easiest and least expensive way to dispose of solid waste collected by municipal. In this method, the waste is deposited in low lying area on the edges of the city and periodically leveled by the builders. Trash disposal by open dumping is not a scientific method. Open dumps are uncontrolled sites where waste is disposed of without regard to environmental regulations. The garbage is not separated, is left outside, and is not processed. Despite of being straightforward to implement, this conventional approach to garbage management has a significant financial cost for large site. Open unregulated dumping is not a wise practice. Open dump consists of when the garbage which a municipality which is collected by the person, or the when the garbage is being dumped at a open site. And as we have seen that outside some of the cities, that there is a mountain shape garbage, from a distance it will feel like that there is a mountain, but when we come closer then we realize that it's a dumping waste, which takes the shape of the mountain. So openly it just threw it on a ground and it took a shape of a mountain. The huge large waste is being found outside the city at some site, which is not advisable as it causes many pollution. So this is not wise method, but at least there is a place where the waste material is being collected. But open dump is not advisable, it's not a wise decision. Next is landfill. Landfill is burying the garbage, involves disposing of in landfill, or most nations still follow the standard procedures. In urban locations where a lot of garbage is generated and needs to be left off in public space, landfills are typically found. The operational equipment is reasonably priced and is sufficiently versatile to be employed in various more municipal activities. This approach avoids the serious health risks to the community posed by open dumping or burning. Landfills are frequently built in borrow pits, mining voids, and abandoned or underutilized quarries. Pit is dug in the ground as opposed to an open dump. At the disposable side, the garbage is disposed of and the pit is evenly covered in layers of dirt and debris. Every day, a layer of soil is dumped on top of the waste, and the machine, typically is earth moving apparatus, is used to compact it into what is now a cell. As a result, trash is dumped every day. The property can be turned into parking lot of park after the landfill is full and has thick layer of mud covering it. So landfill, as the name suggests, when the garbage is being put into the land, when a pit is done, and in that pit garbage is being put it, and after that there we covered those garbage with the help of soil, that is landfill. So when the land which is filled with the waste material, that is landfill, by doing a procedure of pit, just a waste material is being dumped into the land and then it will be covered by a thin layer of soil, that is landfill. Next is sanitary landfills. Now, what is sanitary landfills? Sanitary landfills are more hygienic and methodologically constructed than modern landfills, and they provide some partial relief from the leaching problem. A landfill that has been designed a place where leftover waste of solid nature is left off in building that has safeguard against groundwater contamination. In order to recover landfill gas, facilities are extracting landfill gas are also constructed in many landfills. Sanitary landfill construction is quite expensive and comes with its own set of issues. A clean, reasonably priced and hygiene way to get rid of waste is through a well-planned and maintained landfill. So sanitary landfill means when it's a kind of modern landfill, when there is some container which is put under the ground, and in order to recover landfill gas, facilities are extracting landfill gas are also constructed in many landfills, and from those waste material any kind of gas is producing, then those gas will be taken off. Fourth is recycling. Now, recycling, what is recycling? Recycling is the process of gathering waste resources such as empty drink containers, reusing them. Recycling materials can be collected separately from ordinary waste using special bins and collection trucks. However, since mixed waste streams must be sorted directly, the waste owner must first segregate the material into many different containers before it can be collected. So recycling, as the name suggests, when uh, any waste material which we thought of that it's of no use and we are ready to throw it away, before then that thing that it can be reused, it can be recycled, if this waste material can be converted into some other usable product, like for example when we are using cold drink cans, that cold drink cans cannot be before throwing it, make sure that we can recycle it, we can reuse it if it is possible. Next is incineration. Incineration, what is the process of burning garbage in big furnaces, or one form of disposal that involves burning waste is incineration. Burning in additional high, both small scale incineration and large scale incineration are used in industry. Waste that is solid, liquid, or gaseous is disposed of using it. Landfills typically demand a larger amount of space than incinerator plants. So incineration means when the waste material which we have collected and we burned all those waste material, that is incineration. For small scale disposal, composting is used. Composting means since the beginning of life on Earth, solid organic waste has been breaking down and stabilizing in natural world. The process of breaking down and stabilizing organic matter in regulated condition is called composting. Organic waste material can be recycled by breaking down the organic matter through biological composting. and digestion process. Example of these waste material include plant material, food scraps, and paper products. It is a biological process whereby microorganisms, primarily bacteria and fungi, break down biodegradable organic waste to produce a material that resembles humans. So composting means when a biodegradable waste is being used for the organic farming, we can say that composting means organic waste that can be recycled by breaking down the organic matter through biological composting and digestion process. So this is the management of solid waste. So the method is at first there are some stages which helps in doing the solid waste management. First is stage 1, 2 and 3. Stage 1, collection for non-point source, that if when our workers is collecting the food is collecting the waste material from any of the point, that is collection from non-point source. But when the worker or any agent or any employee from the municipality or any government agency collect the waste material from a common point, that is collection from point source. Later on, the source, whatsoever sources it may be, but when the garbage or the waste material is being collected, that collected waste material is being transferred to the disposal site for the purpose of disposing it off, or we can say or recycling it. So the proper treatment can be done only through this by following these three stages. Now disposal method for large scale disposal and for small scale disposal. For large scale disposal, when the garbage is in large quantity, so there are 5 methods comprises of. First one is open dump, when we collect the garbages from the household and then there is a common place where just put it out the waste materials, and that generally that place is out of the city, but the waste material where it has been where it has been put it out, the it takes a form of mountain as well, that a large number of waste material is being put it out, and it has some disadvantages also, like it creates a lots of pollution. So it's not advisable for the when for open dumps is not a advisable system. But the waste materials which we are creating there it has been collected at some common place. Second, landfill. Landfill, when the waste material is being consisted under the land, and it is by doing some of pit, when a waste material is being under the soil, and that waste material is covered by a thin layer of soil, that is landfill. Sanitary landfill, when it is a advanced version of landfill, when the landfill consists of some sanitations and then the properly gaseous system is being there, that the landfills the which garbage contains come out with some gaseous effects. Next is recycling, when the solid waste is being recycled, is being reused, that is recycling. Next is incineration. Incineration means burning of the solid waste. For small scale disposable, when it is an non-biodegradable, when it's a biodegradable waste, it can be used in the form of composting. So this is the management of solid waste. Now, these are the causes of solid waste: overpopulation, urbanization, affluence, technology. So, causes of solid waste can be many, but some of the major causes are overpopulation, urbanization, affluence, and technology. Population is a major cause of any discarded activities of the environment. If anything, If the pollution is rising, population is the cause. As the population is increasing, which may leads to wastage of natural resources, and which will ultimately results in the pollution. So overpopulation is the main reason of solid of creating the solid waste. Next is urbanization. Next is urbanization. Urbanization means when people from the rural areas are being shifted to some of the cities, then the towns are converting into the cities. Their advancement is going on. So when there is an urbanization, the resources of that particular area will get disturbed. And when urbanizations is there, people are cutting more of the trees, and instead of that, they are maintaining their homes, their places. So urbanization may also cause to solid waste. When most of the cities are expanding as a result of urbanization pressure, and occasionally they may grow beyond the intended boundaries, which may leads to solid waste, as a massive amount of industries and households is being constructed, and they are also producing the waste. So urbanization is also a major cause of solid waste. Next is affluence. What does affluence means? When people have a propensity to categorize things as in or out of style, and out of style products contribute to solid waste pollution. When people think that out of style, that this is outdated, now they want to adopt another lifestyle, another style. So the material which they were using earlier is of no use, and they just threw them. So this is also a reason of causing solid waste. Technology. As technology advances, natural goods are being replaced by manufactured ones, and that are typically non-biodegradable in nature. For example, where goods, instead of using paper bag, people still are now going with the plastic bag, as they are convenient to use. And uh, technology, like if we are depending on the technology, then more and more plastic products made are being used, and the radiations also responsible for this waste. So these are the causes of solid waste. First one is overpopulation. Solid waste, including in liquid, gas, and solid waste, is produced due to growing industry and population. Every city generates tons of solid trash every day for things like homes, hospitals, and factories. So population, when the population goes on increasing, people are using lots of materialistic things, which may leads to wastage of those things, and which may ultimately results in the solid waste. Same way urbanizations, when people are shifted towards the cities and the constructions is being increasing, which may leads to lack of using lack of natural resource, which may leads to increasing use of resources, and which ultimately ends up in resulting wastage of those resources, and which also consist of some solid waste. Affluence, when people thinks that they want to change the taste and preferences according to their taste and preferences, they consider their existing material as a wasted one. And technology can also be a reason.